Speaking of taking it too far,
I don't know that we're doing. Okay, go ahead.
I haven't been on the Facebook Marketplace for a while, and I just went on there today, and there's a woman selling used panties. I'm like, what? First of all, who sells used panties? And who
They have them in vending machines in Japan.
Huh?
So
The vending machine in Japan that
what he's trying to say is he maxed out his credit card today.
No, I just don't understand. Why I just don't.
I'm curious though, because usually when I go into the marketplace, it's like tractors and tools and some furniture sometimes. But when you go in, it's panties.
No, it was the first page. It was like, what's happening? And it's like...
It usually pulls up what you normally are looking at.
There's tools. There's motorhomes. There's cars. There's some lumber. And then I see this pair of panties, and I'm like, what?
Cheers.
Welcome, everybody.
How are you?
Good.
We're on a craft whiskey episode today. This is the B&E American Whiskey, breaking and entering American whiskey.
Okay.
Kind of got that little outlaw kind of vibe to it. It's from the St. George Distillery out of San Francisco. You thought you were going to...
I thought, what?
So, for those of you that don't know, we lived in a small town as kids called St. George, Utah. Actually, you lived there a couple of times, right? Because you lived there as an adult. St. George, Utah is like, at the time, was pretty much non-alcohol kind of center of the world.
Yeah, you had to join a club to get...
State package stores.
They had the pour where they push the button and it would pour you
Yeah.
exact amount.
It was that way because it's in Utah that has a really anti-alcohol vibe to it. Not so much anymore, but...
Yeah.
No, this is the St. George Distillery. It's a group of guys out of San Francisco area who started a distillery. Now, this is sourced. This is some Tennessee whiskey, some Kentucky bourbon, and I think they said there was something else. And then, of course, they're starting their own distillery. So they've kind of blended it with theirs. But it is a blend. This was a gift from a subscriber, viewer, and friend. And so I'm not sure what the actual price was, but from what I can see online, it runs about $35.99 in California. It is available here. It is available at Total Wines. But the $35.99 I saw was the Total Wines in out of state. Our state. Our Total Wines said it wasn't available. It's 86 proof, so it's a mid-range. I don't know what the age is, just because it's blended. So I'm not sure how well they can determine that.
Yeah, it's sourced. Who knows?
It's sourced.
It's
It's sourced. So let's go ahead and get into this. I actually popped this open as soon as we got it, and I really liked it. It's got a kind of a cool paper bag type of cover, little color in it. It's got a big lock on it. It's called Breaking and Entering. So if you put B&E, it's harder to find. You put Breaking and Entering. And they do actually have a number of spirits. Of course, most distilleries do. In fact, more and more, the craft distillery are not limiting themselves to whiskey. They have a gin and a vodka and a whole gambit of stuff. There are some craft distilleries here in Texas that don't do that, but the smaller crafts or the newer crafts all. Like we did the tour of Texas Silver Star not too long ago, and
they're doing vodka and
yeah,
they're doing the honey whiskey.
that's still a whiskey though.
Yeah, but it's a little different than a regular.
But we have some like Balcones and Iron Root and Garrison Brothers and TX that don't do anything but this. And I think it's just probably a matter of economic convienience for these smaller craft distilleries to go ahead and
Just
delve into
focus
vodka and gin. No, to delve into others.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't take the aging process. Like vodka, you can distill and right out of the tap.
Yeah, so they can start pumping it out right away instead of...
Well, and they're trying to hit that that niche of vodka drinkers and gin drinkers. It's amazing every time I go to the liquor store, I'll be walking up, which, you know, I window shop a lot. I'll be walking and looking at everything, all the scotches and the gins. Sometimes I'm not a really big purveyor of tequila or vodka, but all the bourbons and all the whiskeys, and I'll go up the aisles 2, 3, 4 times. Like today I just walked up like half a dozen times the aisles. But you see these guys come in and they go straight for the Jack or the Jim Beam or the, Tito's Tequila or something.
Yeah.
And just pull it off with a case of beer. I'm like, that's not really drinking. That's like pounding to get drunk. So let's go ahead and jump into this before one of our viewers starts disturbing us, our 4-legged viewer.
Oh.
So B&E American whiskey, $35.99, which is a 2-barrel on the cost. Let's look at aroma. Smells like a whiskey. It smells like a bourbon whiskey.
Smells pretty good.
So you can, and it's got a nice, almost copperish color to it. So the age is probably, the sourced age is probably 5 or 6 years, unless they're coloring it.
It does got the alcohol.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a shock to it, but it definitely smells like a bourbon. A little caramel,
woody kind of
woody char to it. A hint of vanilla. Clean out your nostrils or your sinuses there, won't it?
Yeah. What's the proof on it?
86.
86.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put this as a 3.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm thinking that it is on aroma. It's a mild. It's not pungent, but it's definitely not light. But it does have some really nice notes to it.
Yeah, because when I first smelled it, I got the aroma and everything, and it was after that I got the alcohol kind of like. So right out of the glass, I smelled the flavor and then got the.
Yeah. Doesn't have powerful legs, so the viscosity is not as thick on the age. But let's go with flavor. At 86 proof, kind of smooth for 86. A little bit backburn, little tinge on the tongue, but pretty smooth. You can taste the different kind of charry, woody flavors. A little bit of the chocolatey caramel.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got a pretty good caramel.
I think there's a hint of almost a spicy vanilla cinnamon hint to it. And of course, it's really hard to determine, with it being blended from bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, and their own distilled. It would be kind of hard to kind of pinpoint the differences. It smells like a bourbon to me, but it tastes more of a blended.
Because it doesn't have like great legs, but it tastes kind of, the mouthfeel is kind of thick.
Yeah. I'm going to give this, for flavor, almost a 3.5. It's not a 3, but it's not a 4.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a little more than 3. And I wasn't like 3.5, 3.25, but I'll go 3.5.
Okay. And then the bite, I'm gonna go ahead and say.
Not bad. I'd say 3.5.
I'd say I'm gonna say 3, but you'll put 3.5. So this gives it an 11.5 for me. So that's a 3 barrel, and it's gonna give you a 13. No wait, a 12 even. So it's still a 3 barrel. This is pretty decent. The price is a little bit more expensive than I'd want to pay, $35.99 for just a blended. Because usually when you go to the stores, the blended, especially the Canadians blended, are all really, most of them are quite inexpensive unless you're getting to a Bushmills or a Tullamore or something.
Yeah.
But most of the blendeds are not as expensive. And I would think that this should be just probably about $10 cheaper, a $25 bottle. I don't know. But California's kind of new to the biz, and they're probably going to follow the Texas model of $50, but they're going to go $35.
And also San Francisco, they're kind of thinking of their clientele around there. It's like, you got to have some money to live.
In San Francisco? You don't have to have some money to live in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, all the homeless.
You have to have tons of money to live in San Francisco. I think the average price of a home in San Francisco is like over $1 million.
Yeah, and that's like a little...
And apartments are outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make political statements at all, but that's probably why they kind of report that they have I don't know, the validity of the homeless situation in San Francisco, because even though I lived there, I lived in Alameda in Oakland, that was a long time ago, and they had a lot of homeless, but I don't know the actual situation there. But if they have a lot of homeless, a lot of it might be that people just can't afford to live there. I don't know. So,
I'd say it's pretty good.
pretty good.
Should be cheaper.
If you're visiting San Francisco or California, or you just see this on a shelf at a liquor store, I'd definitely pick it up. It's a nice thing to have on your bottle, or on your bar. It's a pretty cool bottle.
Give it a try,
Yeah. So, yeah. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Check out the Twitter and the Instagram, the merch, the whole gambit of stuff I always say. Remember, there's no bad whiskey. There's only good whiskey and great whiskey. And this is pretty good whiskey.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So,
all right.
see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, we already did the clink, right?
Yeah. Laters.
Get one interruption and you're just completely out of
Yeah, it
sorts.
throws you off.
Yeah. We just should start over. Pour some
What
more.
did you think, Cody? We never asked you.
That's pretty good.